All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Adam Lawson presiding.
Please sit. Ms. Jones, we're going to proceed with cases on the contested docket at this time. What's your next case?
Your Honor, if we could take Northern County Mortgage versus James Lane and Nancy Lane, that's 2020-CP-56-2201. And Mr. James Lane and Nancy Lane are in the courtroom today.
Okay, Mr. and Ms. Lane, please step up to the table. And are you represented in this matter?
We are not.
Okay, have you had an opportunity to seek representation?
Yes, we have.
Okay, do you wish to go ahead without a lawyer?
Yes, we do.
Well, at this time, I'm going to swear you in as witnesses, so please raise your right, both of you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Very good. Lower your hand. Now, do you understand what we're here for this afternoon?
This is a hearing on the foreclosure of our home.
And have you had a chance to speak to Ms. Jones with the mortgage company?
Yes, Ms. Jones and I spoke earlier today.
And has she given you a copy of the documents that she's going to present to the court?
She is not at this time, but I understand she's going to later in the hearing.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, I will hand him a copy as soon as I reference it, if that's okay, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Millay, you can have a seat, and we're going to hear from Ms. Jones. You can proceed.
Your Honor, this is a foreclosure action as to certain real property located within Greenville County. We previously submitted as proposed exhibits a copy of the note, mortgage, and assignment whereby the account was conveyed to my client. There also was a previous loan modification between the parties from 2017. The account is currently due and owing for February. Interest from February 2020 with the total debt figures being principal due of $91,043.22. Interest through today's hearing of $4,092.88. Escrow advancements of $2,963.45. Title examination of $395. Costs incurred in this action of $821.53, as well as attorney's fee to be set by the court with a requested fee of $3,500. My client has reserved the right to deficiency judgment in this matter, and in speaking with the defendants beforehand, Your Honor, I wanted to make you aware that I believe that they are looking for a delay in the sale as they currently have children in the house and they do wish to be able to finish out the school year. I don't think this property could be sold earlier than May, and deficiency is reserved, so I don't know that putting the sales date out any further would be necessary, but I did want to make Your Honor aware of that. And we have had some brief discussions regarding his request for foreclosure intervention within the proper time period, and subsequently did go through some loss mitigation discussions with my client, and apparently they made a determination that they could not make the figures work with the debt to income ratio. I think there was a disagreement between them as to the valuation of the property in terms of those calculations, but I have not been previously involved in the loss mitigation except to the extent to have my client confirm that they've complied with the administrative order and submit that to the court.
All right. Please hand the Lanes a copy of your proposed order and transcript of hearing. Mr. Lane, that document which you have now received, page 5, it has the figures that Ms. Jones was just running through. Please take a minute to look over those and let me know if you have any disagreement or any questions about that.
Well, Your Honor, I guess the figures look fine, but I don't really understand why we're having this hearing today. I thought they should have given me a modification, and they didn't do that.
We will take that issue up. You've been paying on this loan for a while, so tell me where things stand as far as your payments.
Okay, well, it was like February or March of last year, last time I tried to make a payment and when I wasn't behind. See, they changed the amount of tax and insurance escrow, and they also raised my payment from $575 a month to $945 a month. And I found out on the day when I was trying to make that payment, and they gave me no other options. And I told them that I couldn't pay the $945, but they wouldn't let me pay my normal $575. I didn't find out for like a couple months later from one lady from Northern County Mortgage that I usually talk to, and she said that they couldn't do anything about taxes or insurance, and I could try to make these lower. And so at that time I went and talked to a lawyer, and they told me that I was able to file for a homestead exemption, which I didn't know about, and that lowered the escrow down. It also lowered my insurance down by about half, and so I was able to adjust my responsibility for that. And it should have lowered my payment back down. So I tried to make a payment again, and then they said that no, that I've got to make 3 payments of that $945 amount before I could lower back down to my normal $575 amount. And we just couldn't make it work. It was really impossible for us. We fell on hard times recently, and it's been very difficult. And I did try to make the mortgage modification a couple times, but I got a denial letter, which unfortunately I didn't bring with me today. They said it wasn't the debt to income ratio that was off. It was the value of the property that was so high in comparison to what I owed. And if I only owed these 3 payments like they were saying, why wouldn't they just work with me? You know, I've got a daughter that's still in school, like they were saying, and like you heard earlier. And I've been trying really hard. And I called the person that they put in charge of my case, but I haven't been able to get in touch with them. And then every time I call, I just get like some random person on a phone bank, and I have to start my story over from the beginning and tell them about the $575 and the $945. And it's just a really complicated story, and it's very difficult to explain every time I have to call.
So, Mr. Misling, when did you last speak with somebody at Northern County Mortgage?
It was really probably about a month and a half ago, and they wouldn't even talk to me anymore. So it's been really difficult.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lane, you can have a seat. Ms. Jones, now, I want to be fair to both sides, and I see the information which you have presented to the court. I feel like I have the need to ask, is this a federally backed mortgage?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And what is your client's position as to whether the CARES Act hardship forbearance would be in effect?
Well, Your Honor, I don't have that information with me right now, but I'll be able to look into it and get back to you on that.
All right. So, Mr. and Ms. Lane, what I'm referring to is a federal law which provides borrowers in federally guaranteed mortgages the opportunity to claim a period of forbearance, which would postpone you having to make payments. You have to request that. There may be a deadline depending on the agency that guarantees your loan. It may be the end of September, or there may be no deadline. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to explore that. Ms. Jones, can you make sure that Mr. and Ms. Lane get a single point of contact with authority to make a modification in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I doubt I'll be back in the office today, but I'll put in a request, and hopefully, Your Honor, by the beginning of next week, we'll have that settled. Okay,
Mr. and Ms. Lane, what we're talking about is that Northern Mortgage will contact you and give you one live person with a real working telephone number and a real email address who will respond in a timely fashion with the options that they see, and they can respond to any requests that you make as to options that you feel that you have the right to ask for. And I will also give you the option to explore your other possibilities, which might be refinancing or under the federal bankruptcy laws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the case and not make a decision on the foreclosure at this time. I will give the parties 30 days to look into these various options and report back to the court. as to whether a modification is being sought or forbearance or any other option. So please contact my office when you have that information. Mr. and Ms. Lane, if you do not receive a single point of contact from the mortgage company, say within 2 weeks, then please give my office a call. Make me aware of that. I'm not going to schedule another hearing date at this time after I receive the information from both parties. Then we'll reschedule the matter unless it's resolved before then. Any questions from anybody?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, I just have a question. So, with all that being said, will the mortgage company be selling our home?
So for the house to go under a judicial sale, I would have to rule on the foreclosure, so I have not done that. Also, there are some other steps that would have to be taken. The sale would have to be scheduled. Notice of the sale would have to be sent out to you and any other parties and publicized like any other judicial sale. So none of that is going to be done, so there's no sale date at this time. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, well, I certainly hope that the parties get this resolved or some of these other options come through. I think that you've been trying hard to do this, and I hope that it all gets worked out for the best for all sides. So this concludes the hearing. Thank you for coming in today. Okay, you're free to go. Ms. Jones, do you have any other cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess and then we'll pick back up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead.